Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. 37 people executed in Saudi Arabia, including someone who was arrested when he was just 17. When the king of Twitter met the boss of Twitter. They had a plan for a dream life, but now they're on the run facing the death penalty. We'll introduce you to a couple of fugitive Seasteaders. And meet a kung fu cat from Turkey in Animals Doing Stuff. And top of our news feed, the hashtag RIP Mujaba is being used across social media. Saudi Arabia have beheaded 37 people, and Mujaba al-Swaikat was one of them. Now, he was just a boy when he was arrested at the airport in 2012 while on his way to begin his studies at Western Michigan University. Now, the only crime he is accused of, attending a pro-democracy rally during the Arab Spring. Earlier, I spoke to Sama Hadid from Amnesty International. She told me this is just the latest example of the Saudi kingdom's disrespect for international norms on human rights.
Well, the execution of dozens of Shia men overnight in Saudi Arabia is an appalling violation of human rights. It's also particularly worrying that one of the men who was executed was convicted of a crime that he committed when he was under the age of 18. Amnesty is against the use of the death penalty, but particularly it's shocking when it is used against people who have gone through trials that do not adhere to fair trial standards. And so we call on the authorities to avoid the use of the death penalty and to adhere to fair trial standards in Saudi Arabia.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Now, this video of police shooting at a car near Yale University in the US has led to 4 nights of protests. 2 officers fired a number of rounds after reports of a robbery at a petrol station. Now, both passengers were black, and reports say that neither of them had robbed the petrol station. Both survived, but one, a woman, was shot and ended up in hospital. Both officers are being criticised as one of them failed to turn on his body camera early enough and the other didn't turn his on at all. Both have been placed on leave and both officers are black. Adidas has launched the Futurecraft Loop, a shoe designed to be 100% recyclable. It's made from just one fabric and no glue and is part of what the brand say is their commitment to reduce waste. It's not their first environmentally sneaker either. A few years ago, the design won from upcycled marine plastic waste and fishing nets. And this is Shaima Ismail, a young American Muslim woman happily trolling an anti-Muslim protest outside an Islamic Circle of North American convention in Washington by posing in front of them. They say that happiness is the best revenge. Now, when Donald met Jack, a moment when 2 of the most influential people of our age got together in the White House, a moment made for Twitter. And good thing, I guess, because both of these men, for different reasons, are obsessed with it. Here's Regan.
Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey visited the White House on Tuesday and President Donald Trump rolled out the red carpet. Moments before the 2 met, Trump commented that he is the best thing ever to happen to Twitter. But in the same breath, he called the social media platform discriminatory and blamed his low number of followers on what he says are Twitter's political games. To be fair, it's not the first time the platform's been accused of bias and censorship. Last year, the hashtag Twitter lockout went viral. Users said they felt targeted during a campaign against spam accounts and fake news. And some say it was unfair their profiles were terminated when Twitter cracked down on cyberbullying. But while Dorsey's promise to put an end to online abuse is commendable, his appointment with the president is baffling. Trump says it was a great meeting. His critics don't see it quite the same way.
Trump literally tweeted out propaganda videos attacking one of the very few Muslims in Congress days after someone was arrested for threatening her life. And you're looking to make this place more civil?
Wonder what Jack was thinking when he left this meeting. Wonder if Donald Trump's notorious bullying strategies worked on the powerful CEO.
It is true the US president's never been shy about speaking his mind on social media. In January, the New York Times reported that Trump had insulted more than 500 people and places, yet Twitter's never deleted his account. Analysts argue the social media company gets a lot more hits because of Trump's presence on the platform. But the double standard is stark. Dorsey says Twitter's cleaning up its act. And it seems those efforts may be paying off. The number of Twitter users in the first quarter of 2019 has hit 134 million, up 12% from a year ago. That's $750 million in revenue, 18% higher than in 2018. And the company forecasts even more profit later this year. Trump's criticized Twitter, saying its profits could have been better. But it's likely he's partly why the company is doing as well as it is.
Now, people living in Indian-administered Kashmir have been casting their votes in India's election. Well, some people have voted, others have boycotted. But as you're about to see, a boycott may be exactly what the ruling Hindu nationalist BJP want.
आपको भी मालूम है राज्यसभा में हमारा बहुमत नहीं था और ये मुद्दा हम 1950 से लेकर चलते हैं जब तक नहीं होगा ये मुद्दा हम छोड़ेंगे नहीं
India's ruling Hindu nationalist BJP party has vowed to strip decades-old special rights from the people of Indian-administered Kashmir by repealing Article 370 of the Constitution. It bars Indians from buying land in the disputed territory. Some people are making sure to vote in the Indian election to protect Kashmir's special constitutional status, even though most Kashmiris have largely boycotted the vote.
हमें इलेक्शन इसलिए करना पड़ा कि हमें 35A को खतरा है हमारे को और 370 जो है ये कश्मीर में अगर ये टूट जाएगा हम सब लोग मिट जाएंगे लेकिन इसके साथ हम छेड़छाड़ी करने नहीं देंगे किसी भी पार्टी हमारा ये मुद्दा है उस वजह से आप वोट कर हाँ इसी वजह से हम वोट कर रहे हैं वरना हमें इस बार वोट करना नहीं था लेकिन हम लोग इस टाइम खतरे में हैं
कारण क्या आज़ादी ज़रूरत खाली बस वे नहीं किए
फिर कश्मीर में माशाल्लाह फिर कश्मीर में जंग है फिर कुछ नहीं रहे फिर तो हम उसमें सब लोग मर मिट जाएंगे लेकिन हम ये नहीं होने देंगे
And next, a couple who boasted on social media that they were living tax-free in international waters off the coast of Phuket are now on the run from a possible death sentence in Thailand.
You cannot find this view. Like, you can see the sunset and sunrise, you know, see the many, like, 1,000 million stars.
May this Seastead be a beacon to freedom lovers everywhere.
Yes.
นอกจากนี้เนี่ยทั้งสามีภรรยาเนี่ยก็ได้กล่าวในสื่อสังคมออนไลน์นะครับว่าจะประกาศตัวเป็นอิสระไม่อยู่ภายใต้อำนาจศาลหรือกฎหมายของรัฐใดนะซึ่งก็หมายถึงประเทศไทยนะครับรวมทั้งได้เชิญชวนให้ผู้ที่มีความสนใจนะครับมาร่วมกันจัดตั้งก่อสร้างที่พักอาศัยในลักษณะเช่นนี้เป็นอาณานิคมปกครองตนเอง
All right, let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Wednesday. And New Zealand and France will jointly host a conference next month on online extremism. It was called by New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, who's been demanding that social media platforms do more to deal with hate speech. That's after the terror attacks on 2 mosques in Christchurch, which killed 50 people and were live streamed. The 2 brothers who say the actor Jussie Smollett paid them to fake attack him are suing his legal team. Ola and Abel Osondario say their reputations have been tarnished as they are still linked to an alleged racist and homophobic attack on the actor, an attack that police say didn't happen. Now, Smollett is currently being sued by Chicago PD for the time they spent looking into a crime they say they found no evidence of. NASA released some footage showing the dramatic slide into the sea of the Vavilov ice cap. Now, it used to slide 20 meters a year, but it's now sliding 20 meters a day. A massive increase. Scientists don't know why, but they do know this, that with the ice cap in the oceans, global sea levels will rise. The president of the Philippines has threatened war with Canada over some containers of waste. Now, it's obviously a joke, but President Duterte is not happy that Canada sent 103 containers of its garbage to the islands a few years ago. That's 2.5 tons of waste. He also had a suggestion for an addition to Canadian cuisine.
We'll declare war against them. Kaya man natin yan sila. Load it, the containers to a ship, and I will advise Canada that your garbage is on the way. Prepare a grand reception. Eat it if you want to.
Benjamin Netanyahu, who's been on social media with a video message for his BFF in the White House, Donald J. Trump. The newly re-elected Prime Minister of Israel wants to thank the US President for his flouting of international law and his recognition of Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights were annexed by Israel in 1981.
All Israelis were deeply moved when President Trump made his historic decision to recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Therefore, after the Passover holiday, I intend to bring to the government a resolution calling for a new community on the Golan Heights named after President Donald J. Trump.
And next, we want to show you about a place that's been built in the US to help elderly people cope better with being old. Take a look at this.
I've always felt very strongly about creating an environment and a space that was really meaningful to individuals. What's not meaningful to someone with, well, to most people, but certainly people with Alzheimer's and related dementia, is being at home all day long, which is so common now in society, is that really not having a place where an individual can engage and have a meaningful day.
We always know going forward that we're doing the best we can to keep my mom happy and honor her wishes as much as we can, make sure that she's in a safe, happy, and comfortable place. And, you know, we just have to enjoy the time with her while we have it.
And next, in Animals Doing Stuff, we have yet another example from Turkey about why you should never, ever mess with street cats. This security cam footage captures the moment a big old gang of dogs decided to mess with the wrong kitty. Bad move, Fidos. The cat, who's clearly part ninja, fights its way out of the pack and sees the lot of them off. And the best bit, if you wait, is when the dog that was too slow to keep up gets seen away too. Well done, pussy. Feline power. And that will be a lot from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you'd like. Follow, subscribe, and add. See you again tomorrow.